In this video, I'm going to go over some updates to Rogue in Phase 4 that are going a little bit unnoticed right now, but I'm sure they're going to be meta soon. And while all this footage is from the PTR, this stuff is live in the game right now, so you can log in and check them out as soon as you're done watching. And if you like these kind of videos, subscribe to stay up to date. Basically, the way that I see it, your build in Phase 4 is going to completely depend on your chest rune. That'll tell you everything else about how you're playing. In PvE, we have Deadly Brew with Mutilate or Saber Slash, of course, which are pretty standard, but in PvP and while leveling, Blizzard identified that those builds are, quote, have their identities locked in some damage over time effects. And while this is obviously true with the Saber Slash Bleed, I guess they're also referring to Deadly Poison from Deadly Brew. They're deciding to buff and bring some changes to Backstab builds with the Slaughter from the Shadows rune, and hopefully this is going to cause them to overshadow Mutilate builds in PvP. So just like in Phase 1, we can go back to backstabbing in PvP, and we're not just doing Mutilate literally everywhere. The buffs are that it now decreases the cost of ambush and backstab all the way down to 30 energy, which is pretty crazy, and increasing their damage by 60% on non-player controlled targets, which I assume that just means players and pets, because pets are controlled by players. Now right away you might notice that that's kind of weird. If they want us to use this build in PvP, then why are they adding PvE damage on it? And what is really the point of this if everybody's just going to use Deadly Brew and Mutilate and Saber Slash anyway? Well, they're actually adding in something new so that Backstab can be used as a leveling ability now, which I think is very interesting. You guys know I like leveling characters, and Rogue is definitely very behind. It's not very fun to level. And so now Cuttthroat will replace Shiv on your gloves and make it so that you can use Garrote, Ambush, and Backstab from the front. And Backstab will have a 15% chance to give you a buff that'll let you use Ambush out of stealth. And so Cuttthroat in combination with Slaughter from the Shadows is what is going to allow this to be a very interesting leveling build. You used to get Shiv from Duskwood at around level 20, so I'm assuming you'll get Cuttthroat the same way, and you'll be able to use it all the way to level 60 after that. Without Deadly Brew, you're going to have to actually put actual poisons on your weapons, and so you can run Deadly Instant, or you can run that new armor shredding poison. That's probably what I'm going to do. Even though you have to wait for that poison to proc, or apply it yourself with Poison Knife, which is basically Shiv, it's still going to let you have ridiculous, insane burst. This is going to be way more fun and fast-paced than the way that we've been leveling rogues now, which is stacking up combo points, bleed stacks, or deadly poison stacks. You could even open with a Garrote and then get use out of the Carnage rune to further increase all of this high ability damage with Backstab. Now obviously this build won't compete with the other builds in raids because Deadly Brew is too overpowered, so it's around 5 or 10% behind them right now according to Sims. In the future it could always get buffed or something, who knows, but just having that damage come out quick and easy and right away by mashing Backstab right in the face of your target, it's not only satisfying and fun in PvP, but it's also going to make leveling a blast. The other changes in this post are related to Tank Rogue, and they've been getting updates pretty frequently on the PTR, which is good because they needed a lot of work. And normally I don't care about Tank Rogue, I understand most people don't, but these are actually looking pretty cool, with Unfair Advantage now working on parries and rewarding combo points, and Main Gouge giving you a 100% parry chance for one attack and reducing the cost of Sinister Strike by 20 for the next 10 seconds. So yeah, you'll be able to just spam out 20 energy Sinister Strikes. Main Gouge has a 20-second cooldown, which is the same as last phase. I just wanted to throw that in there because nobody ever uses this ability. So that means you'll be able to have these half-cost Sinister Strikes up half the time. But those two things don't really look all that exciting on their own until you consider the other things that Tank Rogues have access to. Most notably the T1 Tank 6-piece, which gives your finishing moves a 20% chance per combo point to make you take half damage from your next melee attack that hits you. So that means if you just spam out finishers, you'll pretty much have that up for every single boss auto attack. And you'll be able to spam those finishers by generating a ton of combo points now that Unfair Advantage rewards them when you dodge or parry, as well as with the Helm Rune Honor Among Thieves. And if you really wanted to go crazy, you can throw in the Subtlety Talent Setup, which gives you a 45% chance to get a combo point when you dodge or resist a spell. And like I said, I don't really care about rogue tanking, but honestly this looks kind of fun rotationally, so I had to try it out. And Unfair Advantage is a fun, cool talent that I've always loved, even though it's really only useful for combat rogue leveling in Wrath of the Lich King. But now that it's a rune in Season of Discovery, I'm really happy to see it. Backstab PvP seems way more fun without the positional requirement, and it feels really natural to just throw these runes on after playing Mutilate in your raids. And similarly, I think if you're a Saber Slash rogue using swords or any slow main hand and you want to tank, it should feel really natural to just throw those runes on and vice versa. But on the other side of the coin, it doesn't look like there's a ton of room for daggers tanking or swords PvP, which is a little bit of a bummer if you don't use daggers in raids and you want to PvP, because there's no real design synergy with the weapons that you'll have. But who knows, Mutilate is still extremely powerful because it gives 2 combo points, and so it could be a good tank option or a good PvP option. We just gotta wait and see. And all of this is still on the PTR and subject to change, and even if it was on live servers, they could still just change it the next day, so remember, it could change. But what do you guys think of these changes? I'm happy that we hopefully don't see Mutilate just completely dominate dominate everything like PvE, PvP, leveling, and tanking, but it does make me a little bit sad that there's no runes or changes or updates to Hemorrhage. I feel like there was definitely a little room to do something there, but I'm happy either way. Thanks for watching the whole video. Like it if you liked it, and check out my other videos in this big playlist, and check out my stream. I stream every weekday now.